my name is Jillian Lortoni, and my informative speech will be about hospice. Hospice provides holistic support for individuals experiencing terminal illness as well as to the caregivers during the bereavement period. When individuals view the word hospice, they typically give it a negative connotation as they immediately feel overwhelmed and sad, as individuals associate the word with death. However, many individuals are unaware that hospice, too, is not strictly limited to those who are in the process of perishing, but it's also a place to help families aid a sick individual, and hospice is not always correlated with a death sentence for a person, as there is so much more that individuals need to learn about hospice and their mission. Today I'd like to share with you why I'm passionate about hospice and talking to you today about this. So I have experience with learning about hospice, sadly, as my senior year of high school I had two family members, my Nana and my uncle, who utilized hospice, and therefore I learned about having an advocate and a next of kin when a person is terminally ill, and as well as what hospice provides for not only the patients and family members. In addition, I recognize how wonderful and strong hospice workers are and discover the difference between hospice versus palliative care, which many people don't know the difference for. It is imperative that individuals listen to the importance of hospice because many individuals aren't aware of the positives that hospice care offers to both the family member that can be terminally ill, but also the patient. Hospice care aims to lessen, relieve, and prevent suffering so patients can take care of the business in their life and also focus their energy on their family and friends. Hospice Hospice provides these individuals the opportunity and means to do so for themselves. In addition, hospice is not always an end-all, and the majority of the individuals who are not informed about it believe it is. So, hospice, these are some points I'll be going into further depth about. Hospice provides both the individual who is ill and their family with a comprehensive plan. In addition, hospice provides and respects the patient's wishes, as well as hospice lessens the financial burden that an individual will have, as out-of-pocket expenses are reduced significantly. So, to begin, the comprehensive plan provided by hospice care. The goal of hospice care is to control and reduce pain and discomfort for the patient. The family and the patient will cooperate with doctors, nurses, therapists, healthcare aides, social workers, pastors, and numerous other individuals during this very challenging time. Hospice provides family and the patients with companionship and one-on-one care for the ill individual. There is at-home hospice, and then there is the hospice care centers. My family members utilize the hospice care centers, and it's imperative to acknowledge that in order to have hospice at home, that it is important that you have a lot of family members able to help, as you won't have nurses around the clock, whereas at the facilities you obviously do, and at home you have the nurses come one or two for a couple hours, not 24/7. And hospice nurses and the patient and family with either end-of-life care or just aid who are extremely ill, that's what they help with. And a patient can withdraw from hospice care. However, you have to meet certain criteria and keep up with that criteria in order to stay in hospice. And so for a patient's wishes, individuals can now focus, once they're put into hospice, on their quality of life and time with their loved ones, animals, and friends and family, as they typically are in the dying process for the most part. However, as I mentioned, not all are. And the patient is in a much more peaceful and calmer environment compared to a hospital. They don't have as many constant moves, and the patient also no longer has to deal with, like I mentioned, going from hospital to ER to their house to rehabilitation centers. It's just one place. It's not too as stressful anymore for that patient, and they shouldn't have to deal with that in the first place. So for finances, Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurances help cover the hospice care for the ill individual. And in addition, hospice receives numerous funds, also for the building the centers, from government, private insurances, donations made by the public and other corporations and organizations, and grants donated to them, so that aids for them and the patients that are ill. In conclusion, hospice seeks to improve the ill individual's quality of life by utilizing comfort care and control and symptom management instead of continuing with curative treatments, hospice provides patients and families with expert medical care, emotional, and spiritual support, focusing on improving patient and family quality of life and what time typically is left for that patient. And symptom management is so prioritized, as well as the patient and their loved one's mental and physical well-being, which I mentioned. Hospice provides the patient and family the opportunity to voice their opinions and take part in the treatment. And once you're in hospice, you typically aren't on as many medications as you once were. It's very minimum, as like I mentioned, it's focused on controlling comfort control and pain management. Choosing hospice reduces the patient's hospitalizations and practicality, with bathing, grooming, eating, and overall watching over is taken care of significantly by the nurses and family members. And hospice in the future and also in the present, I believe that it's an integral component of care for patients with advanced illness, and numerous individuals don't understand that. There's been stories where some people have been successful and have got better from their illness, but hospice does wonderful things for the individual that is in a very challenging moment in their life, typically in the dying process, and they aid the family wonderfully as well. So it's imperative that individuals understand hospice better, and once you go through something like that too, you have a much more greater understanding of what hospice is, and greater appreciation for the nurses, the staff, everything they go through, and for how things end up for the individual and how the process works. Thank you.